Another good reason that in my opinion, is going to be a good time to buy right now is going to be, think about it like this. So there's not that many buyers out right now, right? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Waisfeld. I'm a local real estate agent in Miami with Keller Williams. And in this video, we're going to be going over a very important question that many people are having right now. Is it a good time to buy right now in 2020 with the current situation going on, with the pandemic going on? So make sure you watch to the end and you pay close attention to what I'm gonna be going over. In this video, you're gonna be able to determine if it's gonna be the right time for you to buy or not. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and show some love. So, is it a good time to buy right now or not? Every single day, I study the market, I read reports of what the experts are saying, I see all kinds of different data and information from all kinds of different experts and economists, in our country, to determine, to better help my clients, determine if it is a good time to buy right now or not, what's going on, and what the future holds in place to, again, better determine whether it is a good moment or not. So in this video, my job is only gonna be to give you the information that I study every single day, so then you can determine on your own if it's gonna be a good time for you to buy right now, or wait, or hold on a little bit longer. I'm not gonna be telling you if it's gonna be a yes or a no question, so I hope you're not looking for that, a yes or no. You need to really determine on your own. You're the only one that knows your financial situation and your current, employment situation and economical background that you have and what you want in the future. So only you can really determine your own goals. So my job here is only gonna be to provide you the information so you can make the best decision possible. So one thing to keep in mind, very important, is that interest rates are very, very low right now. So they're hitting, around 3%, 3.2. They're talking about that it might even go below 3%. So that is, definitely good news for those of you that can qualify for that interest rate. But something also very important to keep in mind is going to be, hey, not everyone's going to really be able to qualify for these very low interest rates that are out right now, right? Because of the current situation that's going on and the pandemic, and people not being able to go to work, many people are getting laid off. Banks and lenders have put a more restricted and have raised their standards on who they're gonna be qualifying or not, right? So right now, it's definitely a little bit more challenging to qualify, and especially to get this, really good interest rates, right? So before, you were able to get a loan, get approved with a minimum credit score of 580. Some private lenders were even accepting 520 and 550, right? But the minimum for FHA and other loans was 580, right? Right now, the reports just came out that many banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, and other big banks, they have raised their score to 680 and some over 700. So that's very, very important to know, because if you're in the search right now and you've been looking all these months and your credit score is in the low 600s, hey, you know now that you need to work on your credit. They're not going to be approving you, and if they approve you, if they do, they're talking about they're going to have a higher credit interest rate. So you need to take, in order to take advantage of this interest rate, you need to work on your credit score. Very, very important. It could make a big difference on your monthly payments. It also is gonna make a difference on the long run. If you keep the property for 10, 20, or 30 years, you're gonna see that you're gonna pay a lot more money towards interest and less money towards principal, and mainly due to your credit score. So again, working your credit score as much as you can. There's tons of information out there and tons of videos, explaining and showing you how you can, raise your credit score. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm even gonna make a video on things that I know, ideas that I have, and strategies that I've used before with my clients, that I learned from actually credit repair people that I've used again, with my clients, I'm gonna be making a little video, so just watch out for that video. But again, very important to start working on your credit, and even if you're at 700 or above that, keep working on it. Keep working on your credit at all times, because again, the higher your credit score, the lower the lower the interest rate, which means the lower your monthly payments, the lower your mortgage amount that you're gonna pay in the long run. So it's very, very important to have that in mind. So just to tell you real quick about the 4 main things that lenders look out for, just so you have this in mind and you understand, it's gonna be, again, credit score that we just spoke about. It's gonna be your income, okay? It's gonna be your debt, and it's going to be your down payment. Those are the 4 main things that lenders are looking out for. So again, as I just mentioned, as with the credit scores or with requirements, that lenders are getting more strict on the requirements to lending, right, to approving people for loans. Those 3 other things are also gonna come into effect. So they are talking about that they're gonna be increasing down payment from 3.5% of FHA all the way up to 20%, right? Not all banks, but some banks have made reports that they're gonna be increasing it to 20% down payment. So that could be a significant, unfortunate news for many first-time home buyers. Right now, every single first-time home buyer has 20% to put down, right? That's why there's so many home buyer programs out there, first-time buyer programs and down payment assistance, which they're also talking about that many of those are gonna start going away, or they're also gonna start getting more strict to who they let borrow. And also keep in mind, if those programs continue, or some will definitely continue, they're gonna have higher interest rates, right? So again, always work on your credit and always keep those other 3 things in mind. So in order to have a better loan, better terms, is going to be your debt. Work on your debt, right? That's one of the things they look at. So pretty much try to bring down as much debt as possible. I am nowhere a financial expert or a financial advisor, or I am not a credit repair person. So you should definitely consult, what debt you should be lowering, or even with your lender, right? Whoever you're working with. But you should definitely understand, and not just like do it randomly. That's why you should consult someone that is professional at that area, so they can tell you exactly what things you should be bringing down or what things you should be working towards on your debt that will make the most significant impact, right? Like for example, let's say you have a student loan of $10,000 and you have $10,000 saved up. I don't think it's a good idea to go and pay those $10,000, right? Again, I'm not an expert, but you should ask. But maybe with those $10,000, you can put for down payment, or you can pay other things that you might have in debt, like a credit card, or paying other things that you have that will make a bigger impact. Again, I am no financial advisor, but that is one example that I've seen in the past. So make sure you consult that with your professional advisor. So the 3rd thing that lenders are going to be looking at is going to be your income, especially right now with the current pandemic going on, with the coronavirus going on. Millions and millions of Americans have been laid off, right? So you need to make sure that you are still currently working, or that if you're gonna go back to work and you're just working from home, or you just they're just kind of laid you off for temporary, then again you're gonna need to consult this with your lender. But maybe employment letter, or stating that hey, it's only for a month or 2 that you are gonna indeed be going back to work. Maybe that can definitely help. But lenders are gonna really want to see that you are currently working, that your job is stable, that you've been working there for over 2 years is one of the things they look at. So you need to make sure all these things. So if you were planning to buy a house in the next few months and you just got laid off, but you're still going to be working there as soon as they reopen, again, those are things that you're going to need to speak to your lender about and see what they say about that and how they're going to go about it. But it's going to be very, very important to determine whether you need to wait a little bit longer, right, until you're actually back in the work, or if there's a letter or there's something that you can prove and show, which they can use to determine your income, right? So income right now is going to be very, very important. They're being very, very careful and selective on what kind of incomes they're choosing or not, because so many people have been laid off, right? So of course, lenders are they're more worried right now because they don't want to have, what happened in '08 and '09, where many people, lost their property. So they're just being very selective. They don't want that to be happening, of course, right? Especially with new buyers. So the fourth thing that lenders are going to be looking at is going to be down payment. So lenders are going to want to make sure that you have a down payment ready to go, right? So pretty much for FHA, it was 3.5 down payment. Right now, with the coronavirus going on, there's many lenders that are removing FHA loans from their portfolio, so they're not using FHA loans. So if you only have 3.5, you need to make sure whatever lender you are working with, they are still using, able to provide a FHA loan, right? So you need to be very careful with that. And then again, many lenders are removing the FHA loans at 3.5, and they're going up to 20% conventional loans. So you need to make sure, again, whatever lender you're working with, that they're up to date and they know how much down payment you're gonna need, because you don't want to be going out looking for properties, and then when it's time to buy something, the rules have changed, the requirements have changed, and then you just found a property that you loved, and out of nowhere they come out with these new rules and requirements that maybe your lender wasn't aware of, or you weren't up to date, and now you can't move forward, right? So that's a really bad experience. You don't want that to happen, so make sure that you understand prior to going out, right? Clarity is power, my friends. Cool, so now that we spoke about all the four things, or the main four things that lenders are looking at, there definitely are other things, right, out there that they're gonna be looking at. Lenders are gonna look at everything that you've had, your whole life history, your whole economical and employment history. Trust me, they're gonna be looking at everything. It gets very intense, but those are definitely the main four, right? So now you know things that they're gonna be looking at, and now you know that you have all those things, and you also know that you have a steady job, and there's gonna be no issues with your job. So we're gonna go back to the question: is it a good time to buy right now? If you have everything now that it takes to be approved and qualify for a very low interest rate and a great loan, then you have to think about it. It could definitely be a very good financial decision to buy right now and not wait, because that interest rate makes a lot of impact. It makes a lot of impact. It really does, financially on your monthly payments, and also on the long run, like I mentioned before. So that could be a very, very positive thing, right? So some people are saying, okay, but what if I buy now and then prices, they drop and they go down? But if interest rates, go back up, then that slight price drop in price is not gonna make up for that low interest rate that you got, right? So let me make this a little bit more clear. All right, so comparing interest rates, right? So if you buy a property for, let's say, $300,000 at a 3% interest rate, right? You're gonna be having a monthly payment of around $1,264 a month, right? Not including any expenses, like no insurance, no taxes, no nothing, just the loan itself, okay? So around $1,264 per month, right, is gonna be your monthly payments. In the long run, in 30 years, you're gonna be paying a total of $455,000 for that loan, right? So let's say prices do drop, and you're wondering, hey, but why should I buy now if maybe prices will drop? If prices do drop, let's say, and that property is now worth $250, let's say the price drops slightly. I don't think it's gonna drop, drastically. I don't think it's gonna be a drastic drop in prices, in home prices, right? Experts don't think that as well, so hopefully we won't have that. So let's say there is a slight drop, right? And let's say that property is now worth $250. Let's say interest rates started to go back up, as the current, scenario that we're in, everything starts going back to normal slowly, and interest rates start to go back up. And let's say now you qualify for the $250,000 property, right? The property is now worth, and interest rates are 5%. So let's do the difference, right? So with the 5% at $250, your monthly payments are actually going to be $1,342, right? So that's almost $100 more that you're going to be paying, and in the long run, you're going to be paying $483,000. So that's around $30,000 more in the long run for that same property. right? So think about it. So interest rates are so low right now that even if you buy a property and prices drop slightly and interest rates goes up, you're still gonna come out winning. It's still gonna be a good financial decision. So you also have to think, hey, do I want to buy and sell in 2 years? Then that might not be such a good idea. But hey, do I want to buy and live in it, for at least 5 years or 10 years? Then maybe it could be a good idea, right? Because even if prices do, slightly drop, they're gonna pick back up. They're gonna come back to they're gonna raise. There's always appreciation in prices, right? In home values. So if you're considering of buying and staying there for quite a few years, then think of that. That could definitely be a benefit and a positive thing. Another good reason that in my opinion, is gonna be a good time to buy right now is gonna be, think about it like this. So there's not that many buyers out right now, right? With the current situation going on. So there is people that are probably, doing a lot of shopping, just looking online, like kind of shopping for homes on different websites, right? So there's really not much people actually getting on it and actually going out, right? There's a lot of people that were looking and they got laid off from their job. So there's definitely not that much competition if you think about it right now into searching for property. And right now there's many realtors that are we're doing virtual tours and we're sending out videos and those type of things. You can also put in an offer right now without looking at a property. That's something that a lot of people are also doing. So think about it like that. There's not that much competition. So before all this happened, a lot of markets were really hot. And as soon as a property came on the market, the same day, probably received 5 offers. So people that were looking at homes that they really, really liked and it was their price range, it was like the perfect home for them, then they find out the property already has, like a bidding war going on and there's a bunch of offers, right? So right now, think about it. Those properties that you may love so much are probably not getting shown as much. They probably are not getting offers. So there's more room right now for, to buy a house that you really, really like without having to worry about all this competition, also around, right? So that could definitely be a positive thing. Another thing that I've realized is that, hey, there's many sellers that are in a position where they really need to sell right now, right? Many of them have probably lost their job, many have been laid off, or maybe you're just worried of these uncertain times, and it makes total sense. No one really knows where we're gonna end up, right? So as a buyer, it's a good time to possibly search for these type of owners, right? That are willing to negotiate slightly a little bit more on their property, right? There's some owners that are willing, they might be desperate and they're willing to, to do a good price drop or a good price reduction, right? So you have that, those situations going on. So you might find yourself a very good opportunity right now with low interest rates, a good price for a good home that you really like, that you're gonna be living there. Again, you have a secure job, you have everything right now possible and going for you in your life where it could, this could be a very good decision. So you have to think of those things. Of course, we do have to keep in mind the current situation going on with the virus, the coronavirus and the pandemic, and you have to be careful with your health, right? It's going to be very, very important. So if you are deciding to go out there and start looking for properties, make sure you try to do as much, digital, video, showings as possible, and digital and virtual showings, and try to get agents to send you videos, or even if you're working with an agent, have them go out there. It's going to be just one person going out there recording a video for you. If you really, really like the home, if you're really interested, then maybe you can set up a real in-person showing. Make sure you always keep in safety and your health as a priority. It's going to be very, very important. Always keep that in mind, guys. So again, to conclude, if you are working on your credit and you have really good credit right now, you still have your steady income coming in, right? You have a steady job, your job's going nowhere, right? You have a very secure employment, right? You need to move. You cannot wait. This is the time to do it. You want to take the opportunity. You're tired of living wherever you are, or you have been thinking about buying for a year already, and now is the time, and this happened, but you still kind of want to go out there. If you cannot wait any longer, or if you're living with your parents and you just can't take it anymore, or whatever your situation is, but you know that you have to, you know, make it happen right now, then you gotta do what you gotta do, and I totally agree with that. You know, just make sure again you keep healthy, your health and you know, the well-being and the well-being of others as a priority, right? So if that is your current situation right now, then absolutely, by all means, you know, do whatever you have to do. Go out there. Again, I think there's very good opportunities right now. Interest rates are super low. A lot of sellers probably really want to sell. There's not that much competition going on, right? Inventory is pretty low right now. So it's a bunch of very good you know, things out there. So again, it's gonna be on your you know, on your behalf to make that decision, right? It's gonna be on your behalf to decide whether right now is the time, or should I wait a few more months to things start getting back to normal, to have all the buyers that are gonna be ready to go out there, and you're gonna be having all that competition and everyone else searching, you know, all at the same time, how it was before, probably even more right now, right? Because there's gonna be a lot of people that have been wanting to go out, but they don't because they're worried or whatever the reason is. And then as soon as everything, you know, little by little starts going back to normal, you're gonna have a lot of people out there that are gonna be you know, looking for properties, right? The ones that again have all the requirements and meet all the lender standards. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you got a lot from it and you learned and it was very valuable to you. Again, if you know anyone that's coming down to Miami, I'll be more than happy to help. My name is Waisfeld. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my weekly videos that I come out with. And again, you stay safe, you take care of yourself, and I wish you the best. And I know you're gonna make the best decision, so go for it. Please subscribe to my channel and support me. Thank you so much. Peace.